Well, thank you everybody for joining us today. We are very excited to be here on the finale. Of course, we couldn't miss that. So today we will play the Purpose Journey game and we will talk a bit about the power of purpose. But before we dive into our topic, I would like to show you a video. Right, it would be awesome if my clicker would work. Yes. All right.
So the model's pretty simple. The doors that you all came in today to get to the bakery are the same doors that people come through. They put a name on the list, and when we have a job available, we take the next person off the list and we give them an opportunity.
Ever since I can remember, my mom's worked. She did 2 jobs in one for years and couldn't provide for her family. I didn't see things getting better, so at the age of 14, I started selling drugs. I just felt as though I had to do what I had to do to help my family, you know? I was back and forth in jail. I sold drugs to females that was pregnant, to people I know, moms and fathers. Just picturing that, like, man, what we was doing. We was bringing down our own community. Like, I didn't like the person I was. And I wound up doing the 4 years. In jail, I had a whole lot of time to think and reflect on life. I knew life wasn't about being in a cell. It was just time. It was just time to change my ways. I came home with nothing, not a dime. But I was looking for employment. Nobody would hire me. I went through weeks and weeks of rejection. Then a friend I had reminded me about Graceland, the bakery, with that open hiring process. I put my name on a list for a job. One day I was riding around with my friend. I got a call like, you wanna come to work? And I came alive. My first day at work, I was excited. I seen people that I knew. They was encouraging me because we all been through the same things. It was like, basically like being back on the block. I went from apprentice to lead operator and research and development. Now, recently, I just got promoted to supervisor training. I never thought that the baby could do this for me. I started my own family. I had my first child. It's crazy. I came home with nothing, not a dime. My mother and brother was holding me down. And 6 years later, to be in a position that I'm in, I'm not rich, no, but I'm happy, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm happy.
Hi, baby.
Everybody deserves a second chance. You gotta get to know people. When you give a person a job, you give a person a second chance at life.
One of my favorite memories was when we had launched our cookie product at Whole Foods, and we had made the decision to put team pictures on the brownies. And 2 of our team members were together at a holiday party, and one of them was already on a pack of cookies. And the other one said, hey, you know, I'm gonna be on the next package. And they looked at one another and they said, can you believe that 2 years ago we were in jail together? And now they're at the bakery doing jobs. That was awesome.
That's really awesome, isn't it? Graceland Bakery was founded in 1983 and still until today operates on this open hiring system. So if you want a job, whether you've been in jail, whether you've been fired, whether you've been struggling with addiction, it doesn't matter. They don't ask any questions, they just give you a job. At Graceland, they really believe in second chances. And their motto is, we do not hire people to bake brownies, we bake brownies to hire people. You can find this video on the website of the Graceland Bakery. You know, and it's actually quite old, it's about 9 years old. And I think I've seen it a million times. but it still touches me. Because I really believe that this is what the world needs. Organizations with a strong and powerful purpose, with a team that's loyal and happy, and a culture where people can thrive, and they actually help to make the world a better place. So let's talk about how to do that. My name is Fennande van der Meulen. I'm from the Netherlands. I'm here today with my colleague Maartje Jansen. And we founded our company Happy Office 10 years ago. And it's our purpose to help organizations and teams create happier work cultures. So we help them with cultural change. We do research into the organizational culture. We do programs. We give a lot of trainings and workshops about happiness at work and work culture. And we wrote a book, the Happy Office Manifesto, in English, and you can actually buy it on Amazon or here if you want. And in 2018, we initiated the International Week of Happiness at Work because we believe that it's really important to put emphasis on the topic of happiness. And since then, it has spread all over the world, in over 50 countries and in over 1,000 organizations. It is a do-it-yourself movement where people can just join and organize something during the week to get the energy to and build on that. So today, we will talk about the relationship between purpose and happiness at work. I will give you my favorite definition of organizational purpose. We will talk about pitfalls, about what leaders should do, what the benefits are, and then, of course, the most fun part is to experience how to find and really feel the purpose. We will play the game, and then hopefully there will be some time for reflection. So having a strong and clear purpose is essential for every organization in order to be successful. And one of the reasons that this is the case is because because purpose is one of the main contributors to happiness at work. And let me explain why. Happiness at work matters a lot, actually, because we spend of the hours of our life, about 90,000 at work. It better be a good place, right? People that are happy at work are usually also happier in the rest of their life. I know that my kids really like me better when I had a good day at work. So people that are happy at work are also in general better neighbors, better friends, better parents. People that are happy at work are healthier and they are successfuler. So happiness at work is important for us as human beings, as individuals. But of course it's also important for organizations. How we feel at work matters. It impacts our performance. And one of the people that understood that really well is Herb Kelleher. He's the former CEO and the founder of Southwest Airlines. And he once said, employees come first. If you treat your employees right, your customers come back, and that will make your shareholders happy. And he's right. And science has shown his point many, many times. Happy people are more engaged with the goals of the organization, with their colleagues, with how things are going. They are more creative in finding solutions for wicked problems that all organizations have nowadays. Happy people are better able to cope with the negative effects of stress. If you want to know more about stress, join my colleague Maartje tomorrow for a session about stress at 11:30. Happy people have less sick days, they are more productive, and they have happier customers. And if you like data, there's a lot of research done on the return on investment of happiness at work. Like, for example, a plus 22% higher productivity or a lower 37% absenteeism rate. Imagine what that would do for your organization. So, you know, I like data. But at the same time, I think that when we look deep down in our hearts and when we really feel about this topic, I think we all understand. We don't need a scientist to prove this. We don't need all this research to prove this. Because I think that we all know we perform better when we feel good. Right? Yes. So, happiness at work is important for employees, but it's also important for organizations. So it's quite logical that managers and organizations, HR, want to know what is it that makes people happy at work. Well, there are two very important things about this. First of all, happiness at work is very personal. What makes me happy can make you very unhappy, and the other way around. So it's important to find out what makes you happy and what makes your team happy. And then the second thing is that we learned from 10 years of experience in this field, and what science told us, that there are 4 contributors to happiness at work. We call them the 4 pillars of happiness at work. Not surprisingly, all starting with a P. Purpose, people, progress, and positivity. Let's take a look. Purpose is about being part of something bigger than yourself. It's the big why. Why do you come out of bed in the morning? And it's about contributing to something that's important to you. Then the second pillar is people. It's all about connection and belonging. I think one of the biggest lessons that we got from COVID is that we need other people. We need to be together. We need to work together to be successful and to be happy and to feel good. And this pillar is also about psychological safety, which is actually key for a team to perform well. I think you as Agilists know. It's about trust, giving trust, feeling trusted, and it's about giving and receiving recognition. Then the third pillar is about progress, about results. Making progress in meaningful work is the strongest motivator. But this pillar is also about developing yourself, about learning new things, doing things that you've never done. Just try and then be successful or fail and learn from it. But it's also about autonomy, about being able to make choices for yourself and about taking accountability, taking responsibility. And the fourth pillar is about positivity. It's about having fun, laughing out loud once in a while, doing what you love to do. And it's about the balance between what gives you energy and what drains your energy. But there's one really important point to make here when we talk about positivity as a pillar for happiness. Make sure that it's not just about the superficial stuff. Because if you can only be all happy clappy all day at work, and there's no room for grief or sadness or failure, then it's going to make you very, very unhappy. Well, there's a lot more to say, of course, about these pillars and about how to implement them on the personal level, on the team level, and on the organizational level. But today we will focus on purpose on the organizational level. If you want to know more about the pillars, read the book. So, what is organizational purpose? My favorite definition is this: an aspirational reason for being that inspires and provides a call to action for an organization and its stakeholders and provides benefits to local and global society. Well, that's a mouthful. But I really like this definition because it highlights some very important points. It's aspirational. Your purpose statement should be aspirational. We can aim high. We don't have to, make ourselves small. And it should inspire, it should engage people, invite people to join. It provides a call to action. Oh no. Secondly, a reason for being. So your purpose statement should be about why does the organization exist and what would be missed if the organization wouldn't exist anymore. Then the call to action. The purpose statement should invite to do something. If there's no call for action, then it's just a slogan instead of a driver for success. And then stakeholders, not just the CEO, not just the management team, but all stakeholders should be involved. And last but not least, benefits to society. Now, a lot of organizations struggle to define and integrate their purpose. And what we see in our work that there are 4 pitfalls. And I would like to share them with you. The first one is that some organizations formulate their purpose statement too vague or too generic. Like, for example, we aim to be the best. It's just not really motivating, is it? It lacks meaning. And then the second one, when it's not actionable. When your employees don't really understand what to do with the purpose, it's not going to work. They need to know how to apply the purpose in their daily work. And then, sometimes there's just no alignment with strategy. So your purpose should be reflected in company goals, in performance measures, in decision making, in everything that you do. And then the last pitfall is a lack of buy-in from top management. If leadership is not really committed to the purpose, employees won't embrace it either. And then there's another very important thing. To be truly effective, purpose must align at different levels, at the individual level. So employees should understand how their personal values and their personal purpose aligns to the organizational purpose from the broader perspective. The team level, the team should co-create their own purpose statement, aligned, of course, with the company purpose. And then the organizational level. And leaders play a very important role here. Firstly, they should show the way. Be the purpose, live the purpose, be a role model. They should consistently communicate the purpose with every means they have. And this is something that leaders very often underestimate. They think, oh, I've told this last week, so I don't have to explain it again. But that's wrong. You have to tell your message about 1,000 times before people really understand. And then they need to give clarity about what it actually means. What does it look like? Give examples. Show people how it needs to be, or how it needs to work out. And then also very important, leaders should build the context. So build the structures, build the culture, build the processes around the purpose so that they actually support the purpose. And last but not least, build a story. When a story is personal and when it's explaining the why and when it's, you can really feel that the leader really believes it and it's really, I really, really want this. I think it's really, really important that we're going to do this. It's going to be much stronger. And it needs to speak to people, to the emotions. One of the oldest and one of the best examples of great storytelling is this. I'm sure you know it. Martin Luther King. Had he said, I have an action plan, nobody would have followed him. But now that he said, I have a dream, people followed him. So we will try the storytelling part in the game, and there will be some instructions on the board. So we'll get back to that later. Yes? So I am curious to hear how about purpose in your organization. Can we do a quick test? Are you up for it? Yeah, all right, let's do it. I want to ask you, I know the purpose of the organization I stand for. Stand up if you agree, please. Almost everybody, and some are a bit in doubt. All right, wonderful. Please sit down again. So, the management team actively communicates and models the purpose. Be honest. Stand up if you agree. Okay, we have some work to do. You have some work to do. I know how my department or team contributes to our purpose. Please stand up if you agree. Yeah? Wonderful. Then my last question. Knowing my organization's purpose makes me happier at work. Do you agree or do you not agree? Yeah, it does. Absolutely does. All right. So, it's clear that it's good that you're all here because we're going to do something today. So, research shows that there's a strong business case for purpose. And I will give you some examples of some of the very successful agile working organizations, like for example Spotify. Their purpose is unlock the potential of human creativity. Beautiful sentence, but this really helps their agile squads and tribes to, build innovative solutions. And then another one of my favorite examples is Patagonia. It's their purpose to save our home planet. And their purpose not only, feeds in their decision-making and leadership, but also in culture and product development even. Now the good news is that more and more people start to understand the importance of purpose. Deloitte did a research a couple of years ago where they interviewed CEOs, and 94% of them said, our company understands the importance of purpose. Sounds great, right? However, the bad news is that 46% of them said that purpose informs our strategic and operational decision making, which is about half of them. And this is interesting, we see this a lot. You know, people understanding the value of purpose but not actually using it. So, how can having a strong purpose help your organization thrive? 4 reasons why the power of purpose is so important. Purpose gives direction, it streamlines decisions, and it actually makes it a lot easier. It motivates colleagues to come out of bed and to connect internally with their colleagues, to talk and to discuss and to work better and to go for the best outcome. It builds a story and it creates fans. And last but not least, it attracts a talented workforce. Companies with a strong purpose are having less trouble finding the right people. So I'm curious, how does this resonate with you? Do you recognize these 4 reasons within your organization, and how? And what advantages could your organization have from having a strong purpose? I would like to ask you to take 2 or 3 minutes to think about this and then discuss it with your neighbor. And we have 5 minutes. These are the 4 forms of power of purpose and the questions next to it. So you have 5 minutes to discuss on your table. Yeah. You want to join here? Want to join that table maybe? Yeah, oh, fine.
Let's go on the There's something right. These 4 reasons with the conversation. So yes, I think the out of the world sounds like.
So the leadership, we are talking about leadership.
I think they are talking about CXW, right? No, they do build the story.
Realize as much living and working as we can.
So 1 more minute, and then we're going to go on to the next step. All right, everyone. So we're going to wrap up this part. Sorry, we have to continue. Only 90 minutes. Ah, stressful. So, all right, people. So you have plenty of time to discuss, so that's good. I love it when you talk. So today, so far, we talked about the relationship between purpose and happiness at work, about my favorite definition of organizational pitfalls, about organizational pitfalls, yes. Organizational purpose, about the pitfalls, what leaders should do, and the benefits. And now we're about to experience how to find your purpose. And we're going to play the game. It's already on your table. And today we're going to play it in a pressure cooker style, which means that we have very, very limited time for each step. Normally, when we do this with an organization or with a team, we take a lot more time, of course. But today we're going to do it very quickly. The game consists of 4 steps, each designed to bring more clarity and engagement. And we need to finish the game at 6:30. I wrote the time here also for you to see. So the thing is, about 6 to maximum 8 people per table. Each group works as a team, as a fictive organization. So read the description of the company that's next to the board. I'm sure you will miss some information, but just use your imagination today, you can. And everyone chooses 1 or 2 perspectives, depending on the number of people on the table. All the steps are written out, so it's actually a do-it-yourself movement. Or a do-it-yourself game, and call me if you have any questions. I will be walking around. What we are not striving for today is perfection. Today's outcome is not to define a perfect purpose statement and to have the best possible action plan. You're probably not even colleagues, so it's not going to work, but just to experience the method. And the aim is mainly to collaborate, to experiment and to learn and not to get it perfect. So, experiment and have some fun. And at the end we will have some time for reflection and discussion. All the steps are written out for you. So, any questions so far? Okay, well, play!
By teaching the that invented the concept of a qualified concierge, and pioneered the concierge in the foundation handles situations as well a laboratory for the development of employee social and ethical context. The professional concierge handles the to-do list of tens of thousands of employees every day. Core values: employee happiness, sustainability, the sky is the limit, innovation, at your service. These are the core values. The social context.
Migratory population it has attracted over the years. One of the reasons Bangalore is losing some of its sheen to investors is the dismal infrastructure and its infamous traffic. When Bangalore begins to lose its charm. And there are some facts. Description of the company: international ICT company based in Bangalore, characterized by strong connections with their roots, yearly revenue.
You need to formulate the instructions. Step says here, step 1.
Oh, it's here. Thank you. So if I go to the ability to follow instructions. Step 1.
No, we can just we don't have to read them all, right? So all like these are just ways if we get stuck, we can use those. You don't have to use them.
So if we can think about that, the inspiration.
The IT solutions that are being specified here, it actually covers the entire aspects of IT.
I would use the E and the D, not the I. Like diversity, equity, inclusion, I would actually say this is more of an equity stuff.
We are anyway not trying to
Whatever I am doing, I will see.
The main motive of HR is to promote our ability to
Sorry,
So I'll need to play the friendly
one is contribute, second one encourage others also. So this will strengthen the purpose because there is a purpose which is there. And will attract more
clearly
engagement.
ये purpose में emotional financial and social
As a head of finance, I will strive for maximizing the impact of finance.
You really finished in time because it is a lot of work. Gentleman in the back, how are you? Finished? Couple of minutes. Well, take your time after the workshop because we're going to continue now with some reflections. I would like to ask you to think about what was your biggest insight. Take 1 minute to write down one key learning or takeaway from the game. What was your biggest insight from this session? 1 minute. Write it down. And then we will go to next step 2.
Difficult to visualize. Putting a purpose in one sentence.
Inside with your table, maybe you've already done that. You have got 3 minutes for this. What stood out most and how did it feel to define your purpose? Was it difficult? Was it useful? Was it, I don't know? Both? Write it down. Great, of ze nou... Applying what you learn on a conference in real life. So I want to ask you, think about your own organization. Where are you in defining the journey? Where are you in the journey of defining your purpose in the organization? Some of you already have a clear purpose, some of you don't. And what would be the first step you could take when you go back to your team? What are the challenges? How can you overcome them? Think about this and make some notes. And we have 5 minutes in total for you to think about this. What are you taking home in one question? What are you taking home from this experience that you can use in your organization? Hoeveel zei ik? 5?
Short-term memories.
So the most difficult question is always, what are you taking home? And what are you going to apply? And how?
So everything
We have to wrap up for today. Time's up, it's late, I'm sure you're hungry. Some final thoughts. Formulating a purpose is co-creation. Co-creation. It's also difficult to speak English. Sorry. It's not something that management can do. It's something that you do with your team or with people in your organization. And never, never hire an agency to do it for you. Never. Also not me, no. I love to help you, but never hire someone to do it for you. Keep everybody involved and engaged. So make sure you ask the right questions with this game, but there are plenty of other ways that you can do it. You can take parts of this game and do it yourself. You can, you know, make other questions and whatever. But make it engaging and fun. Focus on progress, not perfection. We have often done with team sessions to formulate their purpose. And usually, you know, on day one of the meeting, we come to a purpose sentence, and then everybody slept about it and thought about it and had a glass of wine and then next day in the morning they come back and they say, you know, I think this word should be different. And that's completely fine. It doesn't have to be done in one day. So focus on progress and not on perfection. Just, you know, adapt whenever is needed. And then the most important thing, live it. When purpose is just a statement on the wall, it's nothing, it's useless. But the moment you start to live it, then it's actually getting you some value. And, you know, with your purpose statement, you don't need to save the world. Every organization has a purpose, otherwise you wouldn't exist. Otherwise your clients wouldn't be buying your products. But it doesn't all have to save, we don't all have to save the world. So, go for it, good luck, and remember, happiness you have to make for yourself. Enjoy your evening. If you have any questions, I'm still here, and otherwise I'd say, well, enjoy your meal tonight, and we'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully.
Anybody has any questions before we end?
Hungry.
Okay, great then. Thank you both of you for such an insightful workshop, I would say. Yeah.